Hey everybody, this is Dark Side Elite here, and I wanted to do a video about the recent episode of Titans, which is called Deathstroke, and I want to talk a little bit about that, and also about what do I think of S.I. Morales as Slade Wilson. Um, this is quite possibly one of the best episodes they've done recently. I think they hit a lot of the 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 right tone and the right amount of action in this episode for this series for this season right now. I think that it should be very emotionally drawn, and it should have a great level of action just by Deathstroke alone. Um, Now, I don't want to spoil it. I think a lot of people should watch it. And if you want me to do a spoiler of any of the episodes, if you haven't watched them, hey, put it down below. Okay. Basically, we got a good understanding about Slade himself. So he and Arthur Light kidnapped Jason Todd, and they're holding him for ransom. So he's asking for something, and the episode evolves around that. Like, what is he asking for? And, and Richard gets into a lot of confrontations with the other Titans, and Rachel has many talks about what the heck is going on. Now, one of the things I feel that they're doing right is they're now pushing Rachel. They're pushing her character a little bit better, and I think that it's time that Rachel needs to get away from what they're doing with her right now and start to really condense her emotional levels and get her to a point where she can actually become closer to the Raven that we know from the comic books. Now, I'll say it before and I say it again. I don't want them to do 100% comic book. Uh, um, I don't want them to do 100% comic book authenticity with her. What I want them to do is I want them to get the personality down to a point where we could go, okay, this is a different take of Rachel, but it's not a complete difference in her character because I feel that her character is sorry. I feel that her character is too much teen angst. I think that her character needs to become more stoic and get her to a point where she could actually learn how to truly control her powers because right now her powers are a little bit more deep rooted into her now. So like before she was able to do small little things and maybe a simple explosion or something out of the wacky. So but now it's at a point where it can manifest and her powers can really hurt people. Um I don't like the fact that her the stuff that she emanates from her body turns into it does some weird stuff and you're like what the heck is that. Um but again, I'm trying not to be too nitpicky about it. I really do think that this show could do a lot with this character and a lot with the other characters. I think that um I think that giving them enough breath and just giving them the benefit of the doubt that they're not going to completely dismantle these characters, that they want to try to do something a little bit different with them, um, is a good thing. I mean, because like it or not, I mean, a lot of people have their own different not expectations, but their own different processes of how they view these characters, and the writers and the showrunners are just trying to do their best with what they got, and on top of that they don't want to give us the same monotony. They want to give us more. And I think that Raven really should be pushed a little bit harder and shown that her powers need to be trained. She's not truly training her powers. She's just learning how to control her powers. She's not learning how to truly restrain the real root of her power. She's just learning martial arts. Okay, that could be very helpful. It can learn mental discipline, but it's not getting to the root of her powers. And the root of her powers is her emotions. She is a very sheltered, emotionally stunted child. If you really go back for the first season, she's been lied to her whole life. She never knew what her powers really were. The woman that's been taking care of her loved her, She loved her greatly. She wants great things for her, but the thing is that she was very, very scared of her powers. And we've gotten through almost all of the first season that Rachel could never really understand and control her powers because she doesn't know anything. And not having a person there that could be able to really help her was it by far a really bad thing. They should have introduced magic a little bit into the Titans, so we could have understood where if they could easily go to if things ever went bad. Uh, I think that they could have introduced Doctor Fate. You know, that'd be really cool. Or Zatanna, or heck, Madame Xanadu. Madame Xanadu would have been perfect for this series. They could have introduced her as she's just a gypsy fortune teller, like they did before in certain iterations of the comics. But she is the mistress. She is the mistress of fates. She sees the fates of every single person around her except her own. That's the thing that's about Madame Xanadu. She sees everybody's destinies except her own, and her and whenever she does, she sees is darkness. And so you can easily put that into continuity. So you have someone that could truly train Rachel and give her that monotonousy that could actually help her be able to trade her powers and also be able to help curb the true root of her powers and not make her truly afraid of her own powers. And that's where she is right now. She's again back to I'm afraid of my powers, and it's gonna be boring for her character. I think they need and that's where I feel that they're really doing with her right now. Gar feels like he's second rate. And again, this whole season is not about Gar, but they're making him more secondary in this whole thing, and I think that that's gonna make some certain fans upset, and especially Beast Boy fans. And I'm a pretty good Beast Boy fan. I love the character. I think the actor really wants to do a little bit more with this character, but he understands that there is a greater picture, and it is trying to get Dick Grayson from becoming maybe from becoming Robin to get him back into becoming get him to become Nightwing, not back to becoming Nightwing, but get him to become Nightwing. And I think that when they get to that pinnacle point where it is truly time for him to become Nightwing, I think that they're going to start doing the Gar story. I think they're going to start getting more into Gar. Um, hopefully, now now we get to Hawk and Dove, and I think Hawk and Dove is still ace. It's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, it's okay. It actually no, it's not this. It is this. They do a really those two actors are doing a really great job. Mika Kelly and Alan Richardson, they got my vote. I've said that in every single one of these videos. I think that they could do a really good job. Um, I don't have to beat that dead horse. Um, uh, the actress that's playing as Donna Troy, they need to get her a little bit more. Um, I think that they need to give her a really good core story. Ooh, I'm sorry about that. I'm getting tired. It's almost about midnight here, and I gotta work in the morning. So I want to do this quick video. Sorry, but I think that Donna Troy needs to get a little bit more. I think that they have her at a point where I don't want to feel sorry for her character. I think that her character should stop feeling sorry for herself. You know, the situation that happened with Garth and the falling out and everything else. And we know that the whole story is about Deathstroke. So whatever happened with Deathstroke, she needs to get off her butt and become Wonder Girl. She needs to become not Wonder Girl, but become Donna effing Troy. She needs to get back to that mentality, that warrior mentality. And in my heart of hearts, I think they're doing a good job with the character, but I don't think they need to keep beating that anymore. I think that they need to get her out of that funk and get her into wanting to fight Deathstroke. Like she should not be afraid of Deathstroke. And they really instituted that when they fought him before, he almost killed every single one of them. So I have a huge feeling that if that's the case, I can understand why she's hesitant to want to fight Deathstroke. But I think that her mentality should be, I don't care. I think that they should have it where she doesn't care. She has no care in the world about Deathstroke and has no qualms about fighting him anymore. And when we get that, we're gonna get a phenomenal battle between her and Slade. Um, um, the whole situation with Deathstroke, I mean Arthur Light, they introduced him back in this episode, and I still don't like the character. I don't like that portrayal by making him into a dumb type of thug. Like he's a thug. He's not an intellectual mastermind like Arthur Light is in the comics. And again, I'm not saying they need to make a comic book accurate. Thank you. That's the word. I don't think they need to make a comic book accurate. What I want them to do is get to the root of who the character is. Yeah, he is a sadistic, manipulative mf'er. That's what he is. And I felt that they should have did that with him. Like he has plans himself, and the only reason why I'm sorry again. The only reason why he's following Deathstroke is because, well, Deathstroke got him out of prison, so he owes him one. So I think that they should have really wrote that not Deathstroke but Arthur Light or Doctor Light should already have his own plans and set, and he's trying to get his plans in order, but he knows he has to help Deathstroke or Deathstroke will kill him, and he knows that Deathstroke will kill him, and he's not afraid of Deathstroke, but he is kind of nervous because this guy, he's a pretty silent person, and he doesn't know what this guy could truly do. Like he seems very very confident that he could actually take out Arthur Light, and it actually it makes Arthur feel a little bit unnerved. And I know what Hawk was saying is, well, it's effing Deathstroke. I mean, come on. I'm like, I understand that, but you also got to realize this is a supervillain dealing with another supervillain. If they don't know each other, well, if one of them doesn't know the other, then how is he going to be egotistical around this guy? He should. Deathstroke is a trained killer. He is not a guy that's going to be sweated about a lot of things. So if you're building Deathstroke to have this level of malicious revenge, then Arthur should be almost completely pissing in his pants, dealing with this guy every single time. So I have a huge feeling that they know what to do with this character. They were trying to make a really cool, brutish type of Arthur Light, and it succeeded. But his character he already passed his expiration date. So that's why I feel that what they did with him is what they did with it was perfectly fine. Um, let's get to the nitty gritty. Deathstroke. Um, I'm gonna be blunt about this. S.I. Morales is a really good actor. He is a really good actor. Okay, he's a really good TV actor. Deathstroke has to have a level of charm, and I feel that it's in the same vein. I'm sorry again. It's in the same vein as how we felt about Manu Bennett as Deathstroke on the Arrow show. We all know Manu Bennett. We know Manu Bennett from Spartacus. The guy is a tough looking dude. He looks rough. He looks like he will go hand to fist on somebody. And he comes from the same tribe as Tamora Morrison, and then that name should be semi-familiar, but Tamora Morrison was also on Spartacus, and he also played Jango Fett. So they all come from the same tribe. So does Jason Momoa. They all come from the Mori tribe, and they are pretty much warriors. They're all warriors. They're a warrior tribe of Samoans, of Islanders. So so I have no problem with Manu Bennett. I really don't. Um, he played that role when he showed up on the screen as Deathstroke. We were like, wow, this is Deathstroke. Yeah, we were really happy about it. When he put on the suit, we were like, it's on. When he had the patch over his eye, and he told Oliver, hey kid, we're just like, yeah, dude, this is Deathstroke. He feels like Deathstroke, and Hawk loves Manu Bennett. He loves that character. He loves that actor as a lot of the characters he plays, and it was a travesty what happened to him on Arrow. However, they kind of gave a great level of redemption for him. But I don't set the bar when it comes to Deathstroke because I think a lot of actors can really play that character very, very well. Now that goes back to Joe Manganiello, and I don't want to get into that because that's a whole can of worms. Now, what S.R. Morales has done in the past few episodes is he shows the malicious nature of Slade. He shows that this guy is very, very vicious and he's very cruel and he's malicious. He's dangerous. He has little to no care, and but he loves his family. That's the thing. He loves his family because of Slade's personality. He's a family man, so he's always gonna have. Ooh, I'm sorry again. I'm probably gonna be on it for a while, but he's gonna play that character very well, and I think that. And my only gripe was is that um, he can't get rid of that Spanish accent. He can't because if you really look at um, how he speaks with his Spanish accent, it helps his deep smoky voice because it's a deep smoky voice. But the thing I wished in with the Deathstroke suit is I wish the suit had a synthesizer, so it actually it gravels his voice a little bit. So when he speaks, no one can tell that's his voice. They think that that's a synthesizer. No, he does have a deep smoky voice. So when he takes off the mask, it will look very genuine. That's why I felt that well, it goes back to Joe Manganiello because Joe Manganiello his suit had a voice synthesizer in it and it fit. It was perfect. But with S.R. Morales, that's his voice, and I have no problems with it. I don't have no big problems with it, but I have a small amount of problems where, I mean, I would have it where it's a voice synthesizer, and it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. He doesn't want his voice to be out there for people to know. So, but people can say, well, he's a killer. He'll just kill. He'll kill his objective. But what if there's an objective that he never killed? So that you personally be able to identify him just by his voice. So those are little things that I was always thinking about. But this episode was very, very good, and the ending is going to blow your mind. It is so out there, and I cannot wait to see what this next episode is going to be about. And my take is we're gonna get Deathstroke. Deathstroke is going to wreck the Titans. He's gonna shake the absolute foundations of the Titans from Nightwing. Actually, I think he's gonna go after Gar and Raven. Those two are gonna be the weakest link because they're not in it with him. They're not. I'm sorry. They're not in it with Dick Grayson and all the rest of them. They're sitting idly by. Well, we don't know yet. So sorry about that. So I cannot wait to see what this next episode is, especially with that cliffhanger ending. I cannot wait to see what this next episode is about. I think that they are going a good route with this season. I think that if they're gonna do a second season, make it Hive, make it Hive. That Hive is back, and you have it's still kind of pivotal with it's still kind of pivotal with Dick Grayson because you could easily make it where it was a let's say it was a mission that actually he went on because Batman told him to go there and deal with it, and he's dealing with the horrors of the stuff that he did when he was with Hive. You could say that he got brainwashed by Hive and he had to do all this stuff. That'd be really cool. So I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna watch this episode again. I think that there's some things I probably missed. But I do recommend a lot of people watch this episode. It is a really, really good episode. I think that a lot of people are going to get a good amount of information off of it. I think that a lot of people are going to get a lot of character study about it because it told us a lot about Deathstroke. It told us a lot about Deathstroke, that he's been following them, he's been watching them, he knows a lot of their tricks. It's gonna be ridiculous. So like, comment, share, subscribe down below. Hit that bell. I will try to get probably like a couple more videos out probably tomorrow. Um, and let's try to be civil about this, because I want to know what you guys think. If you're just watching this season just to see if Nightwing gets the suit and you're gonna fall off, that's fine. If you're here just to basically see how Deathstroke does against the Titans and then you're out, that's fine. But if you are here for the win, if you're here for the long term and you want to see more with these characters, hey, say your piece, say your stuff down below, and let's discuss it like adults. All right, you guys have a great day and have a good one. Bye.